Hi, I'm Sal. I'm from Team 2 with Sydney, Sam, and Tally, and we are presenting on United Airlines. Just a quick agenda of what we're going to go through in this presentation. We're going to go through United's history, growth trends, top competition, demographics of the common United flyer, how United's media coverage has affected its overall brand image, and what the company should do to improve. Looking at background, United was founded in 1934 with its headquarters being in Chicago, Illinois. United Airlines is a major air transportation service providing air transportation in North America, the Asia Pacific, Europe, the Middle East, and Latin America. United conducts around 4,500 flights on the daily to these 5 continents. United also sells fuel and offers catering. So now we just have a short little clip with some more background info about United. Now getting into the growth trends and some competition that United has. United has many other airline competitors including Delta, American, Spirit, JetBlue, Southwest, Frontier, etc. The list goes on. When looking at United stock, right here we have an actual screenshot of United stock from 2014 to current day. United stock abbreviation is UAL. And over here on the right we have a screenshot of United stock from January 2018 when it had an 11% drop from social media outrage boycotting United, which we're going to talk about in a future slide.
United Airlines has 3 major competitors, and they are Delta, American, and Southwest. Delta Airlines is United's biggest competitor. They were founded in 1942, and they only make about $42.1 billion, which is $6 billion less revenue than United makes at $48.3 billion. United's second largest competitor is American Airlines and generates only 88% of United's revenue at $43 billion. Their third competitor is Southwest Airlines. They have over 33,000 less employees than United and only make a revenue of about $21.1 billion. Their target customers usually range from ages 33 to 45, are married, and have a postgraduate degree and make a household income of $200,000. This targets high-income individuals in corporate houses and business and luxury flyers, as well as leisure travelers.
So now that we've talked about the target customer of United, I'm going to tell you a little bit about their current situation. So it's no secret that United has had a lot of bad press in the past, and there's a lot of incidents surrounding the company that lead people to believe that it's not the best airline. So I just chose a few events that stuck out to me in regards to their customer service and their passenger experiences. The first event takes place in February 2016 when there was a passenger on board and a flight attendant had instructed her to stop breastfeeding since she found it disgusting and offensive, and breastfeeding should be something that's publicly accepted, so this obviously caused a lot of controversy. Next, in February 2017, the following year, there was a passenger. Her dog ended up dying after being in storage for over 20 hours, and this was after the flight staff had reassured her time and time again that her dog would be fine, and she ended up taking to Facebook and Twitter and posted all about her experience, which obviously gained a lot of attention. Also, in the same month, in February, there was a pilot that got on board and she wasn't in uniform, which caused a lot of confusion from the passengers, and she went on the PA system and started ranting about her divorce and the 2016 presidential election. So the plane had to be grounded until they got another pilot to come who was deemed more mentally stable to fly the plane. And then in April 2017, this is probably the most known occurrence, was when passenger David Dow was dragged off of the plane due to an overbooking issue. And this was obviously on behalf of United. It was completely their fault, and the way that they dealt with the situation was very brutal, and he had a bloody nose and he ended up getting a concussion, and this caused a huge controversy and it gained a lot of media attention. And then in June 2017, there was a passenger named Shirley Yamachi, and her 2-year-old son was sitting next to her, and he had to give up his seat to a standby passenger since there was a ticketing issue. They both had the same seat number, and the flight attendants instructed her to keep her son on her lap for the entirety of the flight. And she obviously was not comfortable with this, but she did it. And she said, "I started remembering all those incidents with United in the news, the violence, teeth getting knocked out. I'm Asian, I'm scared, and I felt uncomfortable. I didn't want those things to happen to me." So this obviously shows the distrust within customers due to incidents like when David Dow was taken off the plane, and it instilled fear within the passengers, which is obviously not something that you want to have with a company and their relationship with their customers. And then here's just a short clip of Ellen DeGeneres speaking about some of United's most popular headlines.
I don't know if you heard about this over the weekend, a story that happened. There was a United Airlines flight in Chicago that was overbooked, and to make room for people, they forcibly removed one of the passengers. Did y'all hear about this? Yeah, it's crazy. They charged him a $50 removal fee. That's not true. That's not true. No, your first forcible removal is free. So then everyone on the flight was very upset by this, and on top of it all, the in-flight movie was Manchester by the Sea. So it was very depressing. Like, the whole flight, can you imagine? There was a video posted that went viral. Everybody was angry at United for the way they handled it. Now there's a reason. I'm telling you this, and I'm sorry to say, but one of you has to leave. And I have to... I would not do that. One of the things that was the big... I think there were a lot of issues here, but the biggest problem was the way that United handled it. They had a computer pick a random person and just took them off the plane. That seems like a bad policy. Here's a better policy. Don't overbook your flight.
So as you can see how the audience reacts to this headline and understands how wrong it was on United's behalf and how everyone was really just outraged. So moving on, there was another instance regarding an animal. They sent rapper Schoolboy Q's dog to Chicago instead of Burbank, California. And since this was an occurrence with a celebrity, he took to Twitter, and since he has a larger social media presence, his tweets got a lot of attention, and a lot of people were obviously outraged with United as well. And despite these controversies and all these incidents, currently the shares have increased dramatically, and the stock is now up more than 33%. However, at the beginning of the year in January, the stock fell 11% in response to all of these incidents. The stock increasing can be explained due to the strong travel demand as well as the changes in budget that United has implemented. And this is just a quote from airline expert George Habaka, and it's basically stating how the lack of leadership within United as a company, starting from the CEO, has affected the company all the way down to the flight staff and the flight attendants, and how before making any real changes, they need to look at the top management. So it says, it's a top-down culture, meaning the CEO and other leaders set the atmosphere for the rest of the employees. The leadership has been pretty abysmal. And then here, I have a picture of a protest or a demonstration that took place after David Dow was forcibly removed from the plane. And then I have a graph that shows the airline incidents involving pets in 2016. United had the most pets transported, total pets transported, with 109,149. And out of those pets, there were 14 injuries and 9 deaths, which led to a total of 23 pet incidents overall. United, how it's been affected because of all these incidents, as I said before, the stock fell 11% in January 2018. And due to all of these incidents, there's been a loss of customer loyalty and trust, which is vital within a company and the relationship with their customers. Because of all of these occurrences and the negative PR that United has received, there's been a loss of loyalty and trust from its customers. And like I said, with the bad publicity, United has gained a bad reputation within the media. And there was the hashtag Boycott United that was trending on social media following all these incidents, which further increased the negative feelings towards United as a company. And then here's a quote from Jamie Baker, who's a senior airline analyst at JP Chase. And he said, they were in the doghouse from the market's perspective. So this basically explains why United's stock had fell so much. Here I just have a graph of mentions of United Airlines done by Brandwatch from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The mentions here are pretty minimal, and then in March of 2017, there was something called #leggingsgate, which was when a female passenger boarded the plane and she was sitting in first class and there's a dress code, and they told her that she couldn't board the plane because her leggings weren't appropriate. So that caused a spike in mentions on social media, and then it kind of calmed down. And then in April, the mentions skyrocketed when David Dow was forced off of the plane, which obviously gained a lot of media attention and caused people to tweet their opinions and say how outraged they were.
Now that we've taken a look at all of United's scandals, another issue that they've had to deal with recently is the rising cost of jet fuel. This has forced them to make many changes to their budget. They recently have cut expansion costs from 5.5% to 5%. In addition, they've increased the cost of seats per mile as well as raised a couple of other fees for customers. On the other hand, they have made investments into renewable energy sources such as biofuel so they can eventually phase out jet fuel. Now, many of these changes may be working because their stocks are up 33%, as you can see in this chart, from the recent drop in January. However, there are many other issues that they need to resolve. One of the problems that they need to fix is their frequent flyers program. Currently, the program has a rule that if the miles aren't used within 18 months, they expire. This is something that will prevent long-term flyers because after the 18 months, their miles go to waste. Another big issue that they need to deal with is customer service. Currently, on US flights, United does not provide complimentary in-flight dining services, which is something that is unique to United. Most other airlines, especially their big competitors, do provide complimentary meals for flights that are 6 hours or more. Another reason why they should adjust their customer service is because from what we saw from the scandals, many of them could have been easily avoided if the customer service was adjusted. The need for all these changes basically comes down to customer loyalty. For example, while they're saving themselves costs by increasing baggage fees, they're eventually going to lose their customers to other airlines that have lower fees, better loyalty programs, and better customer service. Overall, we can see that United does remain ahead of its competitors despite having the most incidents and scandals over the past couple years. And though the bad rep did cause a major drop in customers and stocks in the beginning of the year, they were able to turn it around by making minor adjustments to their budget. Despite these adjustments, they still have a long way to go as far as improvements.